Welcome to Black and White Cairo Ministries, where Christ is meeting you in a personal view. Today I'm going to read to you from the Gospel according to St. Luke, the 23rd chapter, the 33rd verse. When they came to the place that is called the Skull, they crucified Jesus there with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." And they cast lots to divide his clothing. The people stood by watching Jesus on the cross, but the leaders scoffed at him, saying, "He saved others, let him save himself, if he is the Messiah of God, his chosen one." The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine, and saying, "If you are the King of Jews, save yourself." There was also an inscription over him, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who were hanged there kept deriding him and saying, "Are you not the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed have been condemned justly, for we are getting what we deserve for our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong." And then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." He replied, "Truly I tell you, today you'll be with me in paradise." Here ends the reading. Have you heard that song? It's a lovely song. It goes, "King of kings and Lord of lords, glory, alleluia. King of kings and Lord of lords, glory, alleluia. Jesus, King of peace, glory, alleluia. Jesus, King of peace, glory, alleluia. King of kings and Lord of lords, glory, alleluia." The glory begins at the tree. We are marking this Sunday and observing it as Christ the King Sunday. And it begins with the inscription on the tree that here is the King of the Jews. I'm in a quiet conservatory, a place that is honed out in the middle of a metropolis. It's quiet here. I'm surrounded by trees. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is Jesus Christ. His life was carved out in this thing called creation. He was sent, begotten of the Father. And this royal king came in on something simple as a tree. Jesus was lifted high in this account in the gospel, and it was a bloody scene on a place that was hardened called the skull. Have you ever heard the expression, "If a tree falls in the forest, will it make a sound if no one is around to hear it?" That day, there on Calvary, Jesus was raised up for everyone to see on that tree, and he was fallen. And when he fell, did the world hear the message? I believe it did. I believe it still does today. And this is where we find the King of Kings. The irony is that we begin a new season in the Christian calendar with Advent 1, which will be next Sunday. And there we're going to go in preparation of the time of observing Christ coming into the world on a different piece of wood, that which is called a manger. From the manger to Calvary, we find that the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is discovered on the tree. This tree of life is deeply rooted and embedded within the fabric of all humanity. And we find that paradise is there. It is witnessed by that one criminal that is on his right side. The one left side rebuked Christ, saying, "Just take what you deserve and you're going to die." And he scoffed at him, just like the soldiers below who offered him sour wine. I mean, this was the King of the Jews. Why in the world would they treat a king in such a manner? Well, history has proven, and we have discovered with our study of kings that life is not always kind to those ruling monarchs. They can be fallen very quickly. Today, in which I'm videotaping this sermon, is the day in which we commemorate a fallen leader of our country, John F. Kennedy, taken out of this life so abruptly, so painfully. And when his tree fell, the world heard it. And they rallied, and they came together. It could be that through this very sacrifice that we find paradise. It's a painful entry into those pearly gates. It's a painful entry into that forest where there seems to be a conservation of God's wisdom, but it's also earmarked through briars and thorns and things that create much pain. Today is going to be a day which we prepare for the King of Kings. It's a day in which we see Christ raised up, and we must take the chorus of the one on his left or the one on his right. Either we truly believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the true Son and only Son of God, sent to deliver the world, or we believe that he is not. Which one are you? Which criminal are you hanging on the cross on a tree yourself beside him? We find God in all creation, and I pray today that he will speak to you in a good and quiet place, a place where he restores your hope in all humanity, that he raises your own hope within yourself and what you're capable of doing for the world. Jesus fell, but it was only so that he could rise again. His life is one that we can join. And when we join it, our roots will go deep and we will rise up once more. Know that God is walking with you in the forest of your life, and he can be seen everywhere. Continue to lift him up and let him be seen in your life, and continue to proclaim that he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Glory. Alleluia. Today, the talking points are these. How are you able to find paradise through Jesus Christ in your present day? What does that look like? Second, why do you suppose one criminal rejected Christ as Messiah and the other accepted him? I look forward to hearing your comments here on this wonderful ministry we call Black and White Cairo Ministries. And I implore you to always go forth in the name of Christ.